Coach, you and I have such different training styles. I fucking think it's so wild, honestly.
We do have way different training.
Way different training styles.
I've trained like you when I trained myself years ago.
Yeah.
But I haven't really trained clients that way. Plus, I don't have clients don't seem to navigate towards me for that stuff. But obviously, because of what I'm showing.
I think it's wild that I am a bodybuilder and I have a niche. My card literally says bodybuilding specialist, glute specialist. And so like I thought when I got on this game, I was gonna have all the young guys gravitating towards me. And you're the mobility coach, yet all of my clients are of elder years.
Yeah.
I'm working with nothing but mobility people. And I'm watching you work with these young bucks that are trying to get strong as hell.
Yeah.
Even your older gentleman today was getting yoked out.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really wild seeing the different coaching styles come into play in that.
Yeah, you know Stephanie Rose?
I've heard the name.
I think it's a porn name or I think it's a celebrity name.
Yeah.
But the person I'm talking about is from Phase 6. She's the one that does her and I forget.
Yes, you and I were talking about that.
She does the animal component movements where they move like, cheetah or gorilla or. Well, she's on that new platform Center, that Chris Hemsworth platform.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff's being sold at Walmart, Chris Hemsworth stuff. But it's like the Peloton. It could be me and you. It's any instructor that wants to be on that platform and be affiliated with them.
Yeah.
So she's now not just doing Phase 6, but I see her over on this platform, and everyone else was doing strength or doing whatever, and I saw her strength, mobility, stability. I was like, I do all of that. And it's good for a coach to have a coach sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe my sets are getting inflated. Maybe my timelines because I'll start, you get acclimated. You start adding, you start doing stuff. So, I was sick 2 weeks ago with that dehydration, or this last 2 weeks, and I was like, man, I just don't want to think right now. I don't want to use my brain power.
Right.
Let me get hooked up with this. Of course, Instagram sold me a little. Hey, try this thing.
Yeah.
But I had seen her for a while, and I knew who she was. So I didn't just jump on board because it's Chris Hemsworth, and it's his thing. And I was like, I know stability and mobility. I know who she is. Let me check it out. Her stuff's really dialed in. It's like less reps than me, but it's the timing.
Really?
The timing.
The tempos.
The tempo that she keeps. The 1 minute rest. The combo sets of doing 2 things or 3 exercises at the same time, back to back to back, and then a minute rest.
Right.
And within 15 minutes, at like the 15-minute mark, you're like, I'm okay. That 16-minute, your shirt just goes.
Yep.
And it's just like, wow.
And the thermogenic burn, just once that kicks on, it's game over.
Oh yeah.
The internal burn.
This shirt's still wet from the workout. But no, we do have different styles. But it's funny. I trained more like that. Because that more bodybuilding style, because when I was younger, because that's just what you know.
It is what you know.
Everybody's doing it. It's all the magazines. Now it's like everybody's doing so many different things.
Yeah. And I think what you mentioned, coach needs a coach, but there's no way to, I'm not going to say there's no way, because with all the science and technology we have, you can be hooked up to all those sensors and all, probably get the most efficacious workout possible if you were hooked up like Dolph Lundgren was in the Rocky movies. And you're training like that. Right. We actually have the data at this point that you could, if you have $1 million to spare, you could probably train that way. Yeah. But most people
running in a pool.
Right, yeah. No pool, right, with all the TENS units hooked up and the heart monitor and all that. Yeah, if you got that kind of money to burn, absolutely go do it. But the average Joe, ballers on a budget here, generally speaking, clients and coaches, you always could be a little bit more effective. And I feel like we get almost plagued in the brain of am I doing enough? Whereas we're working out harder than 90% of the general public.
Yes.
And more consistently and longer. When you come in for a day like today, you're training clients, you're going to be in here for what, 4 or 5 hours?
Training them?
Just in general.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a gym environment doing gym activity for up to 4 or 5 hours. Yes. And you do that almost every day.
Yep. 6 days a week.
Yeah.
5, 6 days a week.
So it's not that we're in any way recognizing a real issue. Whereas like, oh, are you getting out of shape? Or are you falling out of habit? Are you not working hard enough? That is never the case. Right. But we're so hypercritical because of the knowledge that we've accrued that we always go, oh, it could be better. But it could be better.
Yeah,
but it could be better.
You don't want your effort to be in the other bucket.
Right.
So along with that, that's what I was telling myself.
Bit of a rabbit hole.
Huh?
Bit of a rabbit hole.
It is. And I was telling myself, because sometimes you got to dial back in
and
reevaluate your program yourself and what you're doing, because day one of coach's certification, they are not you. Like you just said, they're not going to train like you. They're not going to put in as much time. And this is not knocking anybody. No. There's always that 1% that will come through.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you cut from the same cloth and you just haven't been doing it, or you have been doing it and you need a tune-up. There is that one, that Rich Piana 5%.
Yeah.
You know?
That's how I feel about my one client.
Okay.
He's got me more locked in than I've got him.
Okay.
He shows up and I'm like, oh man.
He was here last night?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah, that dude comes in. I saw him here. I was here last night when he came in. I was like, oh, he's about to tune.
That was just a bonus workout. He came in with Gia.
Okay.
I wasn't even here.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I want to go walk with Gia. I want to go hit an extra one.
I love that.
His goal was getting ready for Kenya.
I was going to ask you about that. I was like, oh, they must have a cool dynamic, like where some things you do with him and then some things she does. And I was like, that's cool. It's like he's getting in here. And
it's not even that they have a coaching relationship at all.
Yeah.
He got so locked in, that client specifically, we'll just call him Jay for the sake of things. Jay got started with me in December of last year.
Okay.
And when we started, he couldn't do a body weight squat. He couldn't pick up his keys if he dropped them. Couldn't walk backwards on the treadmill. Wow. Like, we had no mobility.
Which is huge.
We had no mobility.
We know walking backwards is huge.
Yeah. And so, now he dances on the treadmills.
He was on the elliptical last night. He was kind of like...
Yeah, he bobs around, and sometimes he'll just pick one leg up for no reason, just to brag. And he called me the other day and was like, Tyler, I'm running through Walmart. And I was like, why are you running through Walmart? And he's like, because I can.
Yeah, physically can. Wow.
Physically can. He was so excited.
As he's getting tackled. Sorry.
You're not allowed to do that in here.
Stealing stuff. That's funny.
But it was his commitment to his life. His heart was in really, really bad shape. His, prostate health wasn't in good shape. His diabetic health wasn't in good shape. We were just looking at really, really big risk factors for someone of his age when he and I started. And his doctor was like, dude, you're on a bad path. Like, if we don't do something now, you're not going to have an option. And so he came to me as a last ditch. Okay. He said it was his last chance at life.
The client I was with yesterday, wrapping up with, is that client for me.
Interesting. I was told about who we were working with.
Her mother's that way, her father's that way, and she sees the writing on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I refuse.
Yes.
She has such a, like, when you see her and you see the that part of the word, it's like a big, like she just goes, I refuse to be this way.
Yeah. You see the grit, the determination, literally.
What's sad with, not sad, but because that sounds like pathetic. What's the challenge with her is, it's never, come on, let's try harder. Her back, her legs are tight. Things just tighten up.
Yeah.
And it's like she's in that mode of her body's going, no, we've been doing this for so long.
Right.
Now you're starting to do this. Levers are starting to ka-dunk, come up, and that lever sometimes just gets like right here, and then the back and the hip and all that. We hold out that stress and tension in our hips back.
Yeah, right in the sciatic. Yeah.
Right in the sciatic, the piriformis, and I feel like that's her right now. Her body's like pushing it all there to centralize it and to give her one last, no, we're not going to do this. But she's so determined. She's like,
well, and that's seeing the difference. I think that right there is what you just said. Seeing someone that is willing to tell their body, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. Yeah. And for the backstory of the video, I don't think I've ever gone into depth with you, but like Crohn's with the surgery. So that was 3 feet in 1 year. 3 different surgeries. Took a foot out at a time. And then on the third one,
upper, lower,
both. Connection point specifically, the ileum.
So you have half of your intestines, top and
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a little more than half
Yeah,
because
okay.
you have more than 6 feet, but
Okay.
but I have a portion of my lower taken out and a portion of my upper taken out, and the connection point is gone. And so on the third surgery, when they took that last foot out, they realized the disease traveled to my psoas muscle in my hip. So they had to completely scoop the psoas muscle out of my hip, and I had to rebuild that muscle and learn how to walk on my right leg.
I have been having so much psoas trouble.
Dude, it's a consistent issue for us.
So I've been doing my stomach vacuums.
Yeah.
I've been doing, and now when I go to tighten or when I go to do something, my left psoas, dude, will get so rock hard. Like I will fall down like crippled. Like oh, I have to wait and I'll push.
Yep.
And I've never had so much pain in my psoas before.
You know the lacrosse ball trick we do on the shoulder? You got to do it on the inside of the hip.
Like I'm gonna get the fins. I have the fins coming.
Yep.
Amazon. But man, I'm like, because you can tell. So back here, it was back here. The only reason I know what she's going through is because when I was going through like my divorce in 2018 and all that stuff and all the stress and everything, I could feel it being pushed down here. And what's funny is that's a hub. You know, under here's a hub.
Yeah, trigger points. Yep.
Trigger points. Right here's a hub. And if you can press or touch any of these areas and you're like, ow, or right here, ow, like I'm happy I could push.
Right.
Really putting it.
That's how I'm. If I right there, I'll start to cry.
Yeah.
If I go in for that one. So I agree, and we all have them. But what I think the key factor between like a coach's mindset and the general public, and that big threshold that you get over in training, the light switch moment, as I call it, the epiphany moment, is when you have decided that it doesn't matter how I feel. Because you and I have come to that realization long ago. So now it's kind of like I don't feel like going. Well, of course you don't feel like going. You're going to the gym, but you're going to go.
Right.
And we don't second guess it.
You're going to feel it.
But as a general population, it's like, well, why would I do something that I don't want to do? Even if I know it's good for me, why would I do it? Why would I go through with it? And it's that mental decision of, I'm going to do this regardless of how my body feels because it is good for my body long term. Right. And it was so hard for Jay to start. He was in that same window. And he felt so almost discouraged at first because his body was throwing the levers, as you said. Yeah. He was throwing it, and it's normal. Like, I just want to give everyone that credit that it's super normal to feel your own lever when you start. When you try to throw your body into a state of change, the body doesn't like change. It likes homeostasis, whether that's unhealthy homeostasis or healthy. It can be either, but
you can always come in.
Realistically, yeah, come join the chat. But the reality of it is, I lost my train of thought.
You were talking about the levers and sitting in that lever.
And it feeling like it's a discouraging moment, but it's just because our body hasn't gone through that change yet. It's become homeostatic, which is level. Basically, our body likes to feel level. It likes to feel balanced, and adapted, and it adapts to our bad habits just as much as it adapts to our good habits.
And it's just it's that decision, like you're saying. It's that, like, my client goes, I'm gonna feel like this if I don't do this.
Yep.
I'm gonna feel like this if I do this. And one of them, I look better and feel better, and one of them I don't. Mm-hmm. And so you just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I guess my point earlier was that it really is a game of where is my body hiding the tension and stress. That's
100%.
Once you realize, I think once people realize that it's not like you get to the end of the race. I had this for actually depression when I was going through therapy, and the therapist was like giving me my depression diagnosis, OCD, bipolar PTSD.
Okay, we're all sad.
Man. Yeah, we're all sad. We all have things to be sad about. But when they switched from like here you're depressed now to chronic depression, it was a game changer for me because I went, oh, I'm not doing this finite race. No, this is an infinite thing. I have to switch
There is no off.
Switch it now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you have to switch from going. You just realize, oh, I have pain here, and not pain from lifting too heavy like when we're in our 20s, like a certain type of pain that's embedded. And you're like, it's in there somehow. And then boom, you deal with that, and then it shifts over here. And you're like, damn it, it's over here. And then you do it, and now it's in your psoas. And you're like, damn it, now it's in your piriformis. And it's really just a game of that. Once you realize that, you're like, oh, this is just continuous. It doesn't stop. I think we were talking about it earlier when we were out there. Like, it literally is a game of, we were talking about how I bench versus how you bench.
Yeah.
With my chin down, I use more of my...
Versus a big open.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do that because of the biceps that I tore. And it's not a I can't, it's how can I?
Yeah. It's how have I adapted to continue to move forward.
Yeah.
Which I think is key. And when you start with a client, obviously we discussed your why. If you don't have a why, you're going to quit in the first week. Yeah. That's just the truth for everybody. Do you allow the client to provide 100% their own why?
Yes. So I've asked them about their why. Like, I don't tell them their why. They'll give the standard answer of like, I want to lose 20 pounds.
Right.
I go, okay, but why?
Right.
I want to fit in the dress. Okay, but why? Because
I always love that one too, because I asked the worst question afterwards. I'm like, will your husband love you less if you don't?
Right.
And they're like, no, of course not. And I'm like, then why?
Because it usually, so you do the why.
Yeah.
I want to wear dresses in summertime, or I want to, I want to feel more comfortable in my own skin, or I want to feel better in my clothes, or feel better naked, or I go, okay, why? But why? Those are all nice things, but why? When I was 12 years old, my stepdad or my teacher or somebody looked at me, blah, 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 and called me fat. And I go, right
bingo.
there.
Yep.
Why are you holding back on me?
Yep.
Right? Because when you're on the leg press and you think you're done, and you're like, I've done the 3 sets of 10 or 12 like the magazine says, or like coach says, are you done?
Yeah.
You're not. You're not done. You know you're not done. There's something
inside
there's
more.
You. Yeah. And because you could lose the 20 pounds, you could get into the dress, you could do all those things, but you haven't really faced the why behind the why.
Yeah.
And when you face the why behind the why, everything changes.
So I love that. I started that way, where I would always ask my clients, what's your why? And be open and honest, I got tired of arguing. I got tired of reminding someone that's not your why. That's just something nice, like you just said. And I started providing input. And so I don't provide my clients a why, but I do tell them what my why was and give them that option. I'm like, here was my why, and you're welcome to use it.
Do you know why that's so important?
What?
Because I did this in training when I was at T-Mobile. People who weren't coachable, like who wouldn't sell the way that they needed to sell, I would ask them to coach me first.
Interesting.
A girl who wouldn't sell accessories, couldn't do it, didn't want to be coached, didn't want to talk about it, but was the lowest performer.
Right.
You always have those.
Yeah, of course.
I come in as an assistant manager from another store to kind of help out with the accessory sales, the community, the camaraderie, the culture.
Yeah.
And we take a bill payment, and you're supposed to turn everything into a possibility, right? They come in to pay a bill. Let's see if we can offer them something.
Yeah. I
do it wrong. I was very good at accessory sales at that time. I was always on the podium with the other two guys or girl in my store. That's why I was going around from store to store to help them with their stuff. And so the person comes in, they take the bill payment, and I turn and I go, hey, can I interest you in a speaker? They're like, no, but it's really loud. And it's awesome. Like, I'm doing it that way, and I'm like, all right, it's only $8 a month. And like, I'm doing it that way. And then they walk and I go, damn. Hey, do you think there's something I could have done? What does she do? She knows, because she's in the meeting, she's paying attention, but nobody ever got to her that way. And she goes, well, I think if you position some of the benefits of the speaker this way. And I was like, oh, so you do know. And it opened this door for her to be able to coach me, upward coaching, because I was the assistant manager from another store. She was an associate.
Mm-hmm.
And now I was able to come down to her level and reach her and pull her up with me. She coached me, so that now the next customer, I was like, you got this. And she turned and she went, just word vomited all the information to them. and showed us that she knows how to do it. And I coached her. I was like, that was really good. Maybe try this next time. She goes, okay, thanks.
Yeah, because now you're on a sympathetic level of where we can share. You're not above me telling me that I'm less.
Right.
It's we've gone through this together, so we can talk about it.
Because you're just a guy with muscles. You're a guy with muscles. You wake up, you do this every day.
Yeah.
You like to get up early. You like to work out. You like to do this. They don't see the why behind the why that got you there.
Right.
So by you, going back to what you said, you opening up and going, this is my why behind the why. I don't just want delts.
Right.
I went through a financial fallout from 2018 to 2019. And I got delts.
And I got delts.
You know what I mean?
This is the result of sadness.
I have my buddy who literally talks about, like, people are like, damn, man, your abs are really, and unfortunately he lost his wife at an earlier age and he's been through other things. But like, if you're like, dude, look at these abs, he goes, lost my wife. And you're like, fuck, dude. He goes, look at these legs. Look how cut he is. Now, it doesn't have to be that detrimental to everybody. But if you have a why behind the why and you can turn it into that, it's going to help you go so much further.
So when I had all those surgeries and I had to relearn how to walk on that hip, there was a point where my doctor told me I wasn't going to get better. And it was after the third surgery. And he's like, I was 19, I was on 9 running pharmaceuticals. So like 3 different painkillers, a sleeping medication. I was so hopped up on meds that they had me on Viagra at 19 just so my dick would work.
Oh.
It was crazy. And so I'm going through that and I'm like, it's not going to get better because of how often I'm in the hospital. That didn't really seem to be a beneficial outlook. And I remember asking, and like, I'm going to get deep and dark. We might cut this part, but there was a point where I remember asking my best friend, Jacob, and I'll never forget this. This is what brought me back to God, was I asked Jacob, what do I do, man? Like, I'm waking up, I shit the bed with my fiance. We start every morning by taking a shower together because of me. And I'm in crippling pain. I can barely get to class. And my doctors have said it's not going to get any. I love you, but it'd be a mercy kill at this point. I don't know what to say. I've been watching you go through so much pain that it kills me inside. And it kind of dawned on me. I was like, nobody can save you but yourself. And no one's going to save you but yourself. And so in that moment, I was very suicidal. It was very dark. I had decided, I don't want to quit. I want to be a testament. I want to stand. And that's where the Scar Soldier Army came from, was I'm going to soldier on from my scars. I'm going to tell my story so that I can promote strength rather than inspire weakness in my inner culture. If I go ahead and quit, what are the people around going to feel? They're going to feel one less leg strong. Yep. They just lost a friend. They just lost family. They just might have lost a loved one. Who knows?
But you hit it on the head. It's that, and thank you for sharing because I've also been the unalive thoughts before.
Yeah.
I also did suicide prevention in the military. Taught that class a bunch of times. Being in the military for 13 years, like, you're very susceptible, very high percentage of possibility that you might take yourself out that way.
Yep.
What do they say? Like 22 soldiers a day, and it's probably more by now.
It's more.
You know what's a scary number? Everyone focuses on that. I think you'll resonate with this. Everyone focuses on that number 22. 22 a day. 22 a day. I don't mean to make this sound insensitive. Those are the fallen soldiers. They are, for lack of a better term, the lost causes. Okay. That number is staggering. It's too high, but that's 22 people per day. The number I worry about is the margin of people between where we're at now and where we were. Because the 22 did it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they're gone.
Yep.
But between the 22 and where me and you are right now, there's those zombies.
So they're
walking around out there right now.
You and I are focusing on, and I came to this realization a few years back with Gia specifically, because Gia is somebody that when she loses a loved one, she worked in suicide prevention. And like I said, my whole company is around it. When she loses someone, it's very hard for her. When I lose someone in that aspect, it's over because you made that decision. For me, it's harder for those people that are riding the cusp because I'm not focused on the 22. I'm focused on the 22 I can save. The 22 that are coming tomorrow.
Right.
That's what I'm focused on already.
To me, that number is so much bigger.
It is.
There's
It's probably realistically, it's realistically 10 times as high.
Thousands.
Because you have a small percentage that do not make it every day.
Right.
But the actual percentage of the group that it's coming out of,
right, zombies
is
walking
huge.
around.
Is absolutely huge. And that's what got me in.
Mm-hmm.
Was I had that moment, like I said, I had that moment with Jacob where I was like, nobody's going to save you. But I don't want to die. Not because I don't want to die. I did want to die. I was like, this is a stupid life, genuinely. But I don't want to do that to the people around me. I don't want to do that to community around me. I also don't want to promote that message. I don't want the legacy of Tyler to be depression. And that's what you leave behind when you go out that way. And so I was like, I refuse to let that be my legacy.
Yeah.
And moved forward. And I went to the gym one day because I remember waking up and I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. I have no life. I'm sick. I'm not getting better. I have no work. I have no friends.
How long were you in it at that point?
So I was very sick from 16, 17, all the way through 22. So about 5 years in and out of the hospital every other day.
And you had lifted before you got sick?
Yeah.
And then you got sick. Okay.
Yep. And then I came back to it. And it was that moment where when I had lifted before I got sick, it was always wrestling. It was the football kids. It was the cool thing to do. I was a jock.
Yeah.
And so I did to be part of the crew. When I woke up one day in Colorado and I was like, what is your purpose? You have no purpose. Like you literally, it does not matter if you are here or not right now. And I thought, well, I don't want to be here. I'll go somewhere, since I'm mad and I'm sad, I'll go somewhere where I can't hurt anybody else. The only person I can hurt is myself in a good and beneficial way.
It's funny you say that. So that's what I say when I come in here. I go, out there, you can't control the pain. You can't control the way life, what it throws at you. But in here, I can control it. Yep. I'm self-inflicting this pain. And guess what? Mm-hmm. The second I stop doing that rep, I will immediately start to recover. Mm-hmm. That's why you can come in here and damage yourself the right way. Yep. And that's why I come in and I go, okay, I can control this in here. It's
controlled masochism.
It is.
It is controlled masochism, and it's beneficial for your life in the aspect of it gives you that control to take back when you have nothing out there. And so it took me 5 hours to get me through my first workout.
Wow.
Coach, like 5 hours, and I do not exaggerate. Probably it was a 1 hour lift.
Wow.
At least 3 of the hours, maybe it was a two. But at least 3 of the hours, I was in there in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Either screaming, crying, puking, shitting. It didn't matter. It was everything.
Good for you.
My body threw every lever it possibly could. But I knew if I walked back outside, you weren't going to feel any better. I was like, you want to die outside. At least in here, you're focused on physical pain. You're not focused on your brain. And I got through those 5 hours and I would not let myself quit the workout. I was like, I'm going to get this done. And then I get through it, walk out the door and was like, it's not so bad out here anymore. Like the sun is shining. And I remember thinking that.
Thank you, sir.
And going, the sun is shining and the sky is blue. And I was so appreciative of the color. Yeah. Went home, had a great rest of my day. The next morning, I was like, I feel lost again. I want to die again.
You're too tired to deal with the BS.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go through it. But then I was like, you felt so much better after that. Let's go make 2 hours of hell for 22 hours of heaven. And it became my gospel that you can control your hell. You create your own hell. Yeah. That's written in the Bible, that we create our own hells. And so you go in, create your own hell, manage your own hell and control it, and then go enjoy your kingdom. Go outside. Feel like the king or queen that you are. Know that you've done good for your body. Feel that in your heart. Feel that in your brain. And I promise you, your body is going to notice it.
Yes.
And so that's the why that I always provide my clients. I give them this option. I say, hey, this is what I went through. So this is why I want you to do what I want you to do, because you've seen me start every client with a 6-minute drill.
Yeah.
We start every session with 6 minutes in hell. It's called 6 minutes in hell for a reason. And it's super intense and it's super hard. And none of my clients like it.
Stuff that you do?
That's the ropes into the burpees,
yeah,
into the sprint. It's always a 30-second, 30-second, 30-second,
Yep.
30-second rest, 3 rounds. 6 minutes
Okay.
in hell.
Okay.
And it is so intense, and all of my clients hate it. And here's what's crazy about it is I take it away. I'll have them trained into it for 2 months. And then all of a sudden one day they'll walk in and I'll be like, hey, guess what?
We're not doing it.
No 6-minute drill. And they're like, and they're so excited. It's such a huge excitement, and their day just got 10 times better.
Yeah.
Or they get through it and they're having a hard day, and I push them through it. I'm like, and they're like, can I not do it? If they ever ask, can I not do a 6-minute? Oh, you bet your ass you're doing 6 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they do it, and then afterwards,
until
you stop asking.
Yeah.
And then when you get that moment when you're done, I said, you just finished your hardest 30 seconds of the day.
Yeah.
Now the rest of it's easy. How do you feel?
It's just chill.
And they're like, yeah, I genuinely do feel better. Like, I don't feel, I've got more I got to deal with out there. I've got stuff going on, but it's not so scary.
So that goes back to Tibbs. It's that therapy inhibiting behavior.
Interesting.
Oh, I don't want to do that 6 minutes.
Yep.
You probably don't want to clean the house. You probably aren't doing something professionally, doing your taxes. You're probably not homework. You're probably there's something else that you're doing the exact same behavior for other things. So if you do it here, you're gonna do it there. But if you can make yourself do it physically, it'll bleed over into other things mentally that don't require you to do a freaking wall ball or a push up or whatever it is. The laundry will actually make it into the basket.
True.
Another analogy I use besides the lever, which I enjoy more, and this actually happened with my client. And if I name names, they're okay with it. I've asked them. With my client Ashley, she did that leg press one day, 231 reps. Stayed on there.
231 reps.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Because, so you asked me the why. If I tell them or ask them their why.
Yeah.
I provide them a similar platform as well, where I will share information to show them that, because it's not just superficial. Somebody sees you and they just go, "Oh, muscles."
Yeah, it's a daily occurrence where somebody's like, "Bro, you just born like that? You just built like that?" And I'm like, "You have no idea."
And you start peeling back the layers, and you're like, "Oh, you actually think when you're working out. You're working on stuff. You're meditating. You're going through a thing." I kind of equate it to when you rearrange your house, when you move the furniture.
Yeah, feng shui.
When you first start, you're like, I don't like it like this. We got to move the couch. We got to move the TV. We got to move the lamp. Oh, we moved things. Now we have to vacuum because the stuff has been sitting there for a while. And all day long, you're moving stuff. You and your partner are doing the living room, moving the furniture. End of the day happens. You guys are done. You both are sweating. You both stink. It's gross.
Yeah.
You sit down. You have that glass of whatever, and you look around. Ping.
Yeah.
And you have that. Why didn't we do this 6 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All that hard work all day, and I equate it to that. It's like, I don't want to do it. This sucks. Halfway through the day, the couch was in the middle of the thing, and you just laid on it because you were like, I'm not moving another thing, Yep. But by the end of the day, you look around and you're like, it's kind of where it should have been the whole time.
And you have one of those moments this is what I should have been doing.
And I equate it to that, and I go, so think about that for fitness and other things. You have to just do the hard work and then realize, oh, you probably have been wanting to do this for a while.
Well, and I think that's a really big factor, but definitely also something I've run into that I think is very, very key for two coaches to have the opportunity to talk about is I would say programming or conditioning that it takes in order to start making results. Mm-hmm. When you are at the point of going to a personal trainer, most often, usually you're at the point where you need genuine assistance. We agree on that? Most people that we work with they're not able to go to the gym by themselves. You're just not getting...
Can you hit the volume down one or the next song up there?
Yeah.
Because I know this song specifically will. It just goes doom, doom, doom.
No, you're good. But I think it's key and very important to mention that you're going to have a set of a little bit of consistency. And I think you just mentioned there's a reason you said 6 months. Like, you gave a perfect metaphor for something that was completely unrelated to fitness, but you still picked a relative time frame for fitness.
It's a realistic.
That's a realistic time frame, because people come in and they're like, I want those first month results.
Right.
If you're 20, great. Yeah, you're going to see them.
Yeah.
But most people, general public, and this even goes to my 20-year-olds, I'm working with multiple 20-year-old women and women in their 30s, and they're not seeing those first results in a month. And it's consistent. We have that. Now, I'm very confident in my coaching. We have a lot of success stories. That doesn't happen in the first month.
No.
Because your body goes through those levers. It goes through that adjustment. It goes through that growth period as well as the mobility period. And then all of a sudden, you've been working and moving for a month or two. Now your body has the physical capability to do the motions and move the weight necessary to actually make changes.
Well, and I respectfully tell them, I go, with all due respect, without sounding rude, how long, the way that you are now took you a long time to cultivate that.
And people don't give that credit.
Whatever age you are, 28 years old.
Yeah.
Let me hear your fitness level. Maybe you did sports. Maybe you didn't. Maybe this, maybe that. You fell off after high school. Whatever it is. I've been drinking beer. I've been eating out 3-4 times a week. Whatever you've been doing, you've been doing it way longer than the effort we've been putting in to get you where you want to be. So whenever they're like, oh, this month, which is usually 3 months because it takes 3 times as long.
Always.
So
especially with visceral fat.
Even if we were being nice and saying that month was actually realistic time frame for them, a 3-month time frame. Whoa. Set the mood, dude. Great. Now this happened to me, and there we go.
I was like, now it's off.
Oh, I'm gonna shut it for the.
Oh, my bad.
You're all good. But so to counter them, that's like somebody who take a bank account. Well, I only have $25 saved. How long have you been saving it? 1 month.
That's why.
Okay. How long have you been spending money since I got a job? 28 years old, started work at 18, so you've just been spending money for 10 years. Okay, so you can't look and be like, why don't I have more money in my bank account? You have to be like, just hold on, just wait. So I always remind them, I go, look at how much damage you've been doing for how long, or carelessness, whatever. You'll find the words with your clients that aren't too insensitive.
Right.
You've been doing that long. We've been doing this long. You give it more time.
Yeah.
You have to invest more, if not double, because we got to un-F the effed.
Yeah. We've got to get you in working mechanical order
first
in order for the mechanics to get better.
Yeah, smokers stop smoking. They don't immediately go, wow, my lung capacity is better. The lung tissue has to start healing and turning pink again. And then after it turns pink again, maybe a few months later, then you're like, oh, I can expand more. Okay. So, but that first month you're like, I want to go run right now. And you're like, we got scaffolding up on these lungs. They're putting up new lung tissue.
Yep.
Like the paint hasn't dried yet. And you're ready to go do a 5K. Like, let's chill.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit here.
Let's let the glue set on the new pink tissue first, and then let's go out and get after it.
Yep.
So I always try to remind them, like, let's put in as much effort and time there as we do here. I want to take a quick break. Oh, commercial break. Shout out to my guy deep in Hendersonville. I have Troy over here, and we also have Scar Soldier here. Deep in Hendersonville, we're going to be doing stuff in May. We're doing a High Rocks classes. I think May 12th we're starting that. But check out this guy. Go to Deep in Hendersonville on Instagram. If you guys want to learn to swim, if you want to sign up for High Rocks or group fitness or athletic style workouts, that's what we do over there. All right.
You want to run a water aerobics class together?
Yeah.
Shirley wants us to do a jazzercise when you and I started dancing together.
Bro, fun story. My origin story is jazzercise.
Joke?
My mom was the child care manager for a jazzercise. And so she would take us to work with her.
Yeah.
And I would watch. This is in the 90s, bro. So this is back when, all the underwear was on the outside of the leotard. Or the leotards were on the outside of the pants. Now the ladies tuck them in.
Yep.
It's gonna come back. Watch.
Oh, I'm already. Yeah, I'm expecting it.
They had the thong leotards going up, the yoga pants. You got little 5-year-old me looking over the gate, not really understanding what I'm looking at, but just knowing like I like what I see, and then seeing an instructor up top facing me and the people, and I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm in, dude. And then that was big when Richard Simmons was.
I was gonna say Richard Simmons is just that's the game. That's the game over right there.
My mom loved Richard Simmons, so I would see them. I'd see my mom, and I was like, okay, I could do this. That was my first introduction to really paying attention to fitness and being like, I don't know, what my fitness is about, but I like the way these ladies are moving, and I'm totally into this little dance thing. So
I'm here for it.
I think that's what helped me out over at when I was coaching at UFC. Is mixing in that little, because you could just lift, but if you do like fun lifting, dancing, just movement, stuff like that.
Anybody, and we say it in sales every day, but anybody can provide a product, anybody can sell a product, and anybody can find the information that they need in the day and age that we're in. Ultimately, the only way that you differentiate yourself is the experience.
Right.
If you're fun and you're getting the results, that's the coach you need to be.
Yeah, they're buying into you. You're the product. They could open a magazine. They could follow a YouTube video.
Yeah.
They could. I mean, I'm very transparent with my clients. The program I'm doing now, I've already done with them, stability, mobility, strength. Yeah. But I've told them I am now being coached for this 6-week program. They're all into it because it's all stuff they've already been doing. But I'm very transparent of like, let's see how they do it. Let's work it out together.
Yep.
And it seems to be very helpful. It's you know what it's done. I think like I'm going back to what I said earlier. The rep range was too high. The amount of sets, the combos I was doing was too high. Just because I got used to it. I got oversaturated. Their reps are a lot less.
Yeah.
But their timing, like I said, is really good. So it took me from having to reevaluate and go, okay, is this like a daycare? Is it like where you go to drop your kids off and you're like, make them tired so they go to sleep good tonight? Then you're just wearing out your body.
Right.
That's how you kind of get into those, nothing against HIIT classes or DUTs or burn boot camps, but you can sometimes get into a loop of, am I exercising versus am I just wearing myself out? And I think I was moving more towards that category. So this is going to bring me back now to let's build. Let's not just wear ourselves out. Let's continue to keep building and doing what we need to do.
And I think wearing ourselves out can be really pivotal depending on the kind of person.
What do you say? There's an edit button. It's all good. Oh, you can say hi. Be like, oh, he's back. Those cheeks you see on the screen is Adam's cheeks. He's making a cameo.
Oh. That's why I came in here.
Coming to show the biscuits,
show off
dude.
The cheeks.
Which cheeks?
Yeah.
All right, I gotta run.
All right.
Yep.
You guys get to
be well, buddy.
Later,
be
sir.
Well.
Good thing you didn't stay. We're about to butter that bread, dude. I'm just kidding, bro.
Oh my God. What's the gayest thing in the world? 2 straight men in a gym. It's actually true.
It's true.
So what I think
like, that's gay.
What I think is hysterical about, or not hysterical, what I think is really pivotal for my clients is I work with, because of the niche that I'm in, I work with a lot of people with chronic illness or chronic depression. And having that chronic aspect, there is a moment where I will flip gears and I will say, you are just tiring yourself out. Because in a chronic world, like you said earlier, it never stops, never turns off. This is what I wake up to every day, and it's never going to be cured. This is going to be my life moving forward. So for me, having Crohn's, I was like, man, you are ADHD today, bro.
Boys, I'm sorry.
You're like squirrel.
I know. See you guys.
That's hilarious.
They ain't squirrel cheeks, they're chipmunk cheeks.
You got those cake bites, those cake pops from Starbucks.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I tell everyone. I got the little cake pops back here.
So he is. So a lot of these people that are dealing with these issues, for me specifically with Crohn's, I would wake up every morning feeling exhausted, and in pain.
Yeah.
And so it became a reason, whereas like the general public, you're right. Why are you just grinding your body down just to feel tired? But on the opposite hand, with so many people dealing with chronic illness, if you're going to wake up tired and you're going to wake up sore, can I give you a reason?
Mm-hmm.
Can I give you a good reason to wake up tired and sore tomorrow?
Yeah, right.
Like, can I give you something positive? Because you're gonna wake up sore and tired anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you.
Yep.
There's nothing that God himself can do for you at this point, because this is the disease that we deal with, and it's part of it.
Make it tailored and self-inflicted.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Tailor, self-inflicted.
Yeah.
That way, at the end of the day, or first thing in the morning when you wake up and you go, oh yeah, because I worked it.
Yep.
And you get this smile instead of this depression,
Right.
where it's like, I'm broken, I'm defeated, and I'm built wrong. No, I earned that. I earned that soreness. I earned that tired. And it starts to be more of a positive outlook overall.
Yeah.
But as you had said previously, you're not dealing with issues if you're just, average Joe going 9 to 5 and you're hitting a HIIT class every morning just to sleep well at night.
Just to wear yourself down. You're gonna wear out your
you're
parts.
you're gonna grind down your body. You're gonna hit burnout. You're never gonna have a love for this kind of
Right. And now
transformation.
I am thinking of one gentleman, my buddy Tim, who when I first met him for training, he flat out told me, he was like, I'm not trying to get on stage. I'm not trying to even have the best body. He's like, I want to have a functioning body. I want to have a strong body. He goes, I work out so I can drink. He goes, look, if you're going to be honest with yourself and go, I work out because I want to enjoy beers with my buddies at a bar with bar food. Okay. As long as you understand.
Tailored and self-inflicted.
As long as you know that when you come in and then a month from now, you're not like, hey, how come this isn't, as long as we're not having that conversation, then we're hitting the goal.
Yeah.
You're coming in, we're burning calories, we're working on some muscles. As long as we're not just fatiguing to wear ourselves down, but we're keeping your liver going, we're keeping you in a cycle that you're comfortable in, and then you get to go out on Friday and Saturday night with your buddies and drink and have a good time. Okay.
Yeah.
As long as we're honest with ourselves.
Right.
As long as the expectation meets the reality.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue, I think, for coaches and clients, is setting a realistic expectation in a world where you don't have a concept of reality unless you've been in it.
Yeah.
Unless you've been doing this for as long as you and I have. Gia's been doing it now for 4 years, and she's just starting to have that appreciation where she's like, I know what I should be eating and when I should be eating it. I know how I should be training and how hard, how long. Those things are starting to come naturally to her. We call it, incompetent ignorance is not knowing what you don't know, right? So as a client or a first-time gym goer, we always come into this space as incompetently ignorant, and that's not a knock in any way. That is, I'm incompetently ignorant about a lot of things.
You don't know.
Like finances. But you just don't know what you don't know until you've gone through it enough. And that incompetent ignorance, there's a 4-way track. It becomes I think it's competent ignorance, or I forgot the middle two, but the end one was unknowing competence and unacknowledged competence. So it's basically you understand the protocol and how everything works so well that you don't have to think about it. Like if I said, Brandon, I want you to tell me how to train back right now.
Yeah.
Killer. I want a pre-workout meal. I want a back workout. I want cardio, and I want a post-workout. You got it. Yeah, you done.
Yeah.
Already written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
that's the moment I mean. And
25 years. I'm 42. I started doing it at 17.
But it took time to shift that way.
Yeah. So many. Because you do different programs, you do different things. I've done resistant bands, traditional strength training, calisthenics, mobility. Those maces, those steel maces are amazing. It always comes back to the main thing of movement. How do you want to move?
And it is, how do you want to move? And I think it's that we're having that appreciation for the knowledge. We're giving you, as a coach, pay attention to what your coach is saying, but also ask that same question that we ask, why? Ask why.
So
Ask why as much as you possibly can with your coach, because you'll learn what you're doing and you'll start to have an appreciation for the healthy lifestyle, for the way of movement that we appreciate.
Right. And going back to the why behind the why, and my client Ashley, who did those 230.
That's crazy.
Reps.
230.
Finish, fast ones to finish, fast ones to finish, fast ones to finish. There she is. Fast ones to finish, sprint to the end, sprint to the end, sprint to the end. Yeah! Woo! Oh my God. Oh my freaking God. I can't believe you just did that. I can't believe you just did that. I can't believe you just did that. Girlfriend, that's so good. I'm so proud of you. 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 God dang, that's gotta feel so good. Ooh, that's gotta feel so good. Come up here, girl. Give me a hug. Come up here, girl. Give me a hug. I know you can't get up. Give me a hug. Let's have a cry together. Come on. I'm proud of you. God dang, you're so good. Come on, give me a hug like you mean it. Come on. That's so good. Come on, that's so good. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Holy sh!
So she did. So what we do is we do a 25. It depends, either a 25-pound plate or a 45-pound plate, depending on where you are in your fitness. You do so you put a plate on, you do 10 reps. You put a plate on, you do 10 reps. You put a plate. So you stack all the way up until you're getting to where around 6 or 7, you're like, I'm not gonna finish this set.
Right.
And that's the set that you're on. Okay. So it ends up being, if you do 7 plates and you have to go up and down, that right there is 140 reps. So that's the program itself. Outside, and it could be 200 reps. If you're doing 10 plates 10 times, that's going to be 200 reps. So it's just, you can build and measure it that way. Once you come back down to 1 plate, now that's your time. That was her time. And the why behind the why, and I had already built this rapport with her and knew that she was like this, and I had shared some stories of myself so she could see, like, I'm not just here. I have this saying that I always tell them. I'm like, it's okay to cry in the gym, but that just means you have to sweat more to hide the tears so nobody knows. So it kind of is cyclical.
I like that.
Yeah. Like I said, if you see me with my hat on and I have a hoodie, it's probably a good chance that my eyes have teared up a little bit.
There's a good chance I've cried in the gym. Yeah.
And so that I need to sweat now because I need to get some sweat around those tears.
Mm-hmm.
So she did her 140 reps. Going up to 231 was her. Now, how I get her there is the why behind the why. We've already built this rapport. I already know this client. And so I start asking them questions. While they're in it, I'll be like, are you done? Are you done? And they're holding it. Shh, 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 shh. And they stop and pause because they're tired. I'm like, Are you done? Have you decided you're done? Is this the same done that you wanted last Tuesday when you were sitting in the car saying, I'm going to do it different this week? And they're like, and you see them like go back to, and they might be in the car. They might be at home brushing their hair. They might be making that sandwich. They might be standing in front of the pantry about to make that bad decision. Mm-hmm. And so I start talking to them and I go, is this effort matching the conversation you had with yourself last week that this week going to be different? Because guess what? It is this week.
Yep.
And that conversation happened last week.
Yep.
And is this effort matching that? And you see, I just got children now.
Well,
you see her locked in. You see her locked in. That guy's trying to get in or a membership or something. Yeah, he's gonna call the number. And so she's there for 140 reps. And so 140 to 2, it was almost another additional 100 reps.
Yeah, it's 90 reps. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with me. I'm there for support. If your leg's about to buckle, if you're about to pass out and have to be pulled out, if whatever, oh my God, the S has hit the fan and it's going down right now. Yep. I'm there for that. But then that's when you'll see me dancing around them, asking them like, is this what you wanted?
Yep.
Is this why you're here? Are you going to go home today with the same idea, the same concept, the same body, the same mentality as you came in here with?
Yep.
Or are you ready to die? Are you going to die right here so that you can walk out a new person? You're going to be born again into your new body?
Kill your old self right now.
I mean, I have it. We have that. I've been cutting that video.
That's cool.
I have the whole thing on video. Cool. Sitting there, watching her. Not done. There we go. this.
I hate this thing.
Got a dancer. There we go. And so it's literally just me asking her over and over.
Yeah.
Are you done? Are you done? Are you going to be happy with this? Is this going to set the pace for you for this month, for next week, for this month, for 2025, for next year? And so I really start to, and of course, once you have a little bit of wiggle room into that psyche, then you can really start to lay on thicker questions.
That's when you can, when you can put the pedal down.
More questions.
We're not always drill sergeants. We're only drill sergeants when we know what will push you.
Yes.
But there are moments where coach is yelling at his people. And for Jay, I'll just start screaming, for Kenya! And it does it for him.
Is he doing a race?
But
is that what it is?
no, he has a nonprofit. He goes out there and supports missionary work. And the last year that he was out there, he was so out of shape that he was struggling to do the work he wanted to do. And his comment to me when he started was, I want to be able to run through the sand. I want to run with the tribe. I want to be able to run with those African dudes. And he wanted to, have abs, and he wanted to be able to look like them.
Have you seen some of them tribes jump when they do the jumping
They're crazy,
ceremonies?
dude. They're crazy.
And not like a step into a jump, just standing straight.
Yeah, boing,
vertical,
boing,
vertical,
boing, yeah, over and over again.
Oh my god, dude!
So that's what
I
Jerome.
needed that in high school
that's what Jay wanted to accomplish, and his why. And what I think is so cool, and I'm sure, how long have you been working with Ashley?
So, let's see, we're April. It was 5 months.
5 months. Okay.
5 months, 6 months. Yeah.
Okay. And tell me if you've had this moment, because I feel like we get these moments with our clients, and it's so exciting when we do. Jerome walks up to me now, and I'm going to tell, what are we doing today, Tyler? Oh, we're doing our Holy Trinity today. Today's your big three. You're hitting the squat, the deadlift, and the bench today. And because you got 2 days off, so we're going hard. And he's like, okay. And he looks over at me, he goes, I already lifted 300.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll start telling me his numbers. He'll walk up to a machine and go, I already lifted 250.
The Kobe Bryant.
And
I'm shooting free throws in my mind.
Yep.
I shot 100 free throws today, but I never touched a ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he walks up to every set now.
That's good.
And I never even asked him to do it.
That's good.
I never programmed that in. That was something that the client had come up with to push himself. And now he walks up to these movements and goes, I've already moved that way. This is easy. And bangs it out.
Psychological operations. So it's funny. One of the things I'll do is always have the rep count wrong.
I can't count.
But I do it because I either don't know because I'm busy coaching and not counting.
Right. I miss the counts too.
Or I do know and I'm saying a number too high or too low to just kind of get something out of you.
Reaction.
But also I'll do it with a weight. I might give them less weight when I know they can do more safely. I want to say safely, by the way. It's not just about adding and adding and adding. There's reasons and formulas and things like that.
Yeah, we step up weight so that we can step it back.
Yes. And so I will give them something and be like, well, I don't know if this is your weight. And so now it's been a funny thing. The guy that was here earlier, Michael, he makes fun of me for that. I'll set a weight down. I don't say it anymore to him. I set a weight down. He goes, well, I don't know if this is my weight. And so, and it's because I'll put down a 30, knowing they could do a 35, or if they're tired or sore or something's going on, they might be a 25. Right. But I put it down as a suggestion. Here's from me watching you and working with you. This is what I think. And then sometimes as long as they do it safely, they'll look and 30 and they'll be like, let me get the 40.
Yep.
And I'm like,
yes.
Okay. Which I already knew they needed
right.
40. But they had to know that they could go to the 40. And they're like, it's a fine line because it's like, does my coach not believe in me? Is he holding me back?
No, and it's
you
not.
Know what I mean?
It goes back to the original, or not the original point, but the point I made on ask your coach why. We are coaching you. We are training you. We are not just holding your hand in the gym. That is not what your coach should be. If you've been with a coach for 6 months and you don't feel like you know how to work out, you're with the wrong coach. It's like if you are with somebody like Brandon or myself, you should be having these moments where you are questioning what the guy's doing. Why are you doing what you're doing? You're handing me a 35. Well, no, I can do a 40.
Yep.
And we're prompting you to start mentally taking ownership of your own fitness career and your own fitness goal.
So someone who's really good about that is the guy we were talking about earlier, Michael. He also did the same leg press and did way more. I mean, he did, was it 400 reps or something? It was some amazing, crazy. That one I also have.
That's absurdity.
And when I told him, because I'll do 100 rep shoulder press on the leg press. You sit and you press 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
You just do as many. So the number 100 is like overwhelming to my clients at the end of their workout when I'm like, now they know. I go, do you have time for one more thing? And they go, depends on what the one more thing.
Yeah, I would never say yes to you. I would never say yes if he asked me if I want to do one.
Because I'll fit in the amount of reps we need, or we're just going to do one big lift, one big, like something. And it's usually one big lift or 100 reps of something.
Right.
And they go 100 reps. But what Michael has done now, and he's really good at, because he was an athlete, he played sports growing up, is immediately shifting from, oh my God, the number, to a plan. Oh my God, 100 reps. Okay, immediately let's go to a plan that it's gonna go out the window the second we start this. But I have the plan, so I go, okay, 100 reps. He goes, okay, so I'll do a set of 50, and then I'll do 10, 10, 10 after that. Did he do that? No, he did, I think 25 or something like that. But he had a plan. He goes, I'm gonna go up to 50, and then I'm pretty sure I can make it 50 times, and then after that I'll probably be tired, and I'll go 10, 10, 10, 10 all the way to 100. I go, good. That's his answer to me back now, instead of let's do 100. Oh, I can't. Oh, it's too much. Oh,
no, it's the brain overcoming. Yes. I will find a way.
Yes, I'll do. And so now it's okay. Will I do 50, 10, 10, 10? Will I do 4 sets of 25?
Mm-hmm.
Will I do what I do personally is if I have a 100 rep set, I want to pick a weight where I can do 60% of that set. So I think I've told you this before. At least 60 reps of, let's say it's bicep curls. Pick a weight where you're going to be able to go 60 times, where that means if I'm going 60 times, somewhere around 45 or 50, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to make 60.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it should be. So you get to 60 and now you have to stop and set it down and take a break or whatever. Usually, like if there's 40 reps left, that means half of the rep range is your rest. You have 20-second rest. And so you build these little patterns. You build these little rules of, okay, I just 100. Oh, shit. 1.
Right.
Oh, this sucks.
How do you eat an elephant?
Yeah.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. or one leg at a time. Or I'll do the leg right now. I'll do the arm later.
Yep.
I'll do if you're just like, I'm going to eat this elephant. Like, no, you're not.
No, you're not. Yeah, no, you're not. And Gia started the same way. Like, she lives with me. She lives with a personal trainer. She's married to one. And even her, she cannot commit to a 45-minute cardio session or an hour-long cardio session.
Why is that?
It just does her in every time mentally. If she says, I'm going to go do an hour of cardio, she won't go do it.
Got it.
But if she says, I'm going to go do 15 minutes of cardio, she'll stay over there for an hour.
Okay.
Because she'll be like, I made it through my 15. I only got to go 5 more.
Okay.
I only got to go 5 more. Oh, I'm already at 30. I'm already halfway done.
That's a good problem to have.
And so she starts to inch her way up. And I think it's really like key. That's a key observation is when you start, your brain is the muscle that will fail first. Your muscle, we will tell you to pick up a weight and you'll go, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And it'll be an argument. And we'll be like, yes, you can. And you go, no, I can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. And we'll say, you can do it for 10 reps. You'll only do it for 8 and then you'll stop.
Right.
And after a couple months, that switches. The brain becomes the last muscle to fail rather than the first muscle. Just like with Michael.
I don't want to let myself down.
Right. I'm not going to let myself down. And he gave himself a high goal. He said, I'm going to do 50. I think I can bang out 50. And then his legs were like, no, dog, you got 25 in you.
I mean, he had already done.
He's done so much already.
He had already done 2. I know he did 10 plates because I stopped at 7 plates. So he had already done 200 reps.
Yeah.
Up and back.
Yeah.
And he was already there. But,
right. So he's gassed. His muscles are already done, but his brain is still strong.
Right.
And that's the difference. Is day 1 when you walk in, this is the weakest muscle. By day 100, this is the strongest muscle that you will have in the gym.
Yes. It's the man. This thing is wow.
Well, I gotta run anyway.
Okay. You know
I think
what?
we got a killer fucking chat there.
I call it the 8 inches between your ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the furthest distance we have to travel.
That's it. Thanks, man. All right, everybody.
Thank you, Coach.
Scar Soldier. Check him out on Instagram. Hit him up for personal training. We do different things.
We do.
We're not in competition with each other. We
Mm-mm.
do different things. We're all about promoting here. We're not like, don't talk to that coach. Don't work with that guy. No. Everyone has a specialty. Everyone has a different thing. Thanks for checking us out today.
Yeah, and definitely use everything that we give you because we all have our own little niches.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Bye. Bam, bam. 1, 2, 3.